Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'll be taking a look at this RhinoShield PlayProof case. If you've been keeping up with the channel at all, you know that a couple months ago I posted a different RhinoShield case review. That was the RhinoShield bumper case, but this is the PlayProof case, so it's a little different. Of course, it's not a bumper style, it's more of this kind of regular case here, so it's a little different style, but it is by the same company, and so it's kind of very similar material and all of that. Anyway, this is just the packaging that it comes, and as you can see on the front here, it says RhinoShield PlayProof, and it says shock spread technology, which means that theoretically the case should absorb impact of 11.5 feet. This is tested by RhinoShield and all of that, but they don't guarantee it, so I would still take that with a grain of salt, because even if you like drop your phone from a distance of 10 feet and the phone cracks or breaks or whatever, the RhinoShield won't do anything about that. But theoretically the case is very protective, and by using it for a bit, I do feel like that is the case. I'm not sure about 11.5 feet, but RhinoShield has theoretically tested that, and so it should protect your phone from a distance of 11.5 feet, but that's a very structurally sound phone that doesn't have any minor cracks or anything like that. So it really depends on the phone itself and all of that, but it is very protective is kind of the main message you should get from that. On the back of the box here, we just have some more features. As you can see, it says impact protection by design, it says military drop test, it's lightweight, it's slim profile, it's recyclable, and all of that. So that's cool. Overall, this is just the packaging. It is a nice little kind of drawer packaging. The case comes in there, and then you slide it in and all of that. So it's a very nice packaging overall, and then the case itself is here, as you can see. This is Chinese lettering, and it says happy. I'm not sure if it's like an order or anything, or just the letters overall combined to make happy, but that is the very specific case I chose. If you go to the RhinoShield's website, they do have a ridiculous amount of this PlayProof case, like different styles of it. They have a bunch of different colors, which is cheaper, and it's just, I don't know, it's very simple, but they do also have a bunch of different designs. I want to say they have like 30, 40, maybe more designs of just very, very different things, that a lot of them are really, really cool. But I chose this one just because I think it looked good, and it looks good on camera and all of that, so I do like this one overall. Even with like this specific design though, they had different colors and things like that, so you really can get a bunch of different things for this one. And I believe they make each one like custom for the person, so it's not like they have a bunch of them sitting in a warehouse or something. You order this case and they actually kind of like paint this on here or whatever, and then they send it to you, so which is pretty cool. You know that your case is like at least somewhat unique. I mean, it's probably printed by a machine and everything like that, but it was made for you, which is kind of cool. And yeah, this is just a very simple one-piece case. As you can see here, we do have this kind of shock spread technology in here. I don't know if you can see it, kind of get it to focus here. Within the case here, you can see that there's a bunch of little kind of hexagons, and these should theoretically absorb a bunch of shock, and it also prevents heat and stuff like that from building up too much in the back of the phone when the case is on it, so that is good. The little hexagons here serve a bunch of different purposes, and they're all good, so that's nice. And it is, like I said, just a very simple one-piece case. And so to put the case on your phone, we will just put the phone in kind of one side. I recommend putting the volume buttons and the mute side switch first, just so it kind of pushes against less buttons. Like this one, as you can see, kind of pushes on this one and does that, but pushes on less buttons, so I think it's better to put it on the left side of the phone first. So we will go ahead and put it in the left side, and then you kind of simply push it on and snap it around. It's pretty simple because it's just a very simple one-piece case, and yeah, there we go. To take the case off of the phone, we will just kind of pry against one corner. If you wanted to take it off the phone, and then you kind of get the corner out, and you can take the rest of the phone out, and yeah, overall not very difficult. It's very easy to get on and off the phone, which is very cool, and something I definitely look for in cases, because I switch cases fairly frequently. So this is what the case looks like on the phone. I personally think it is a very attractive case. I've been using it for about 3 weeks now, and I haven't had the desire to take it off, so I do like this case quite a bit, and I just like the navy blue and the kind of whitish color. But like I said, if you do like the design, not necessarily the color, you can get other colors, which is very cool. The only kind of logo we have here is the RhinoShield written down on the side here. As you can see, just on the side of the case here, it says RhinoShield. Is kind of engraved in. It's not written in white or anything, so it's not super obvious, but at the same time, you can kind of see it, and I don't think it's annoying or unattractive or anything. It's just subtly on the side here and kind of engraved into the case, and I think it looks pretty cool. And other than that, we don't have any branding or anything, which is very nice. And yeah, each of the buttons here, as you can see, are covered by a little piece of rubber. The volume rocker and the sleep wake button are covered by the same kind of piece of rubber. It's a little bit mushy. It's definitely a lot mushier than the actual iPhone's buttons, or even like an Urban Armor Gear case. Their buttons are a lot less mushy than this. However, with this, I did get used to it pretty quickly, especially after using the other RhinoShield case. These really weren't that bad of a transition. They are a little bit mushy in comparison to at least the actual phone, but with most phone cases, you should expect that, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it also has something to do with the amount of protection it provides and things like that. Just kind of having to use this kind of material over the buttons, yeah, like I said, it makes it a little mushier, but at the same time, it's kind of a protection thing. It just comes with having a protective case, so I'm not super worried about it. The mute switch is a little bit hard to access here. I mean, it's not bad, as you can see, you can do it, but if you have kind of bigger fingers, like it's hard to do with my thumb, so if you have kind of bigger fingers, you might be a little bit worried about that, just because the mute switch cutout is a little bit small. But again, with a protection thing, if they make it too big, it'll be less protective and all of that, so I think they found a pretty good happy medium, but maybe a little bit bigger would be nice. On the other side here, we do have the same kind of rubber overlay as we have for the volume rocker, and then on the back of the case here, we do have the actual camera lens. So as you can see here, we do have the case kind of covering up above the camera. So as you see, if we go like this, you do not have the camera lens exposed, which means that if you like put it on a table or something like that, it won't get scratched, which is very good, because the table will make contact with the case rather than making contact with the camera lens, which is something that's pretty standard cases, and I'd be only worried if the case didn't have that. But it is still nice to see that you do have your camera lens protected. Obviously, if something poking like directly at the camera lens, that'll be different, but most of the time you should be okay when it comes to the protection of the camera lens. The bottom of the case here is pretty good as well. The only small problem I was having with the other RhinoShield case I tested was that the lightning port was a little bit small, and like third-party lightning cables wouldn't really work with it. However, that is not the case with this one at all. I mean, there's some third-party cables that really won't work with that, but as RhinoShield kind of told me, and I agree with them, it should be the cable manufacturer's job to make their cables smaller rather than the case manufacturer's job to make the opening wider. Like, this fits Apple's lightning cables no problem, and the only thing it struggles with are like really big kind of third-party accessories and things like that. So it really isn't that big of a deal depending on the lightning cable. I just use Apple's lightning cable, so I never have a problem with it. And RhinoShield also send me one of their own cables, as you can see here. It is like the exact same size as a regular lightning cable, and this cable works perfectly fine. So if you have a high quality third-party lightning cable, you shouldn't have any problems with it. RhinoShield definitely makes this cable online, and you can kind of, if you buy this cable, when you buy your case, it comes down to around $10 for a very high quality lightning cable that's very comparable to Apple's. So I would definitely recommend doing that if you're looking for a third-party cable. If you already have a third-party cable and you're looking just for the case, I would kind of check out the size of it and make sure it's not too big or bulky or anything like that, otherwise you might have problems with it working with this case. But cables like that, and yeah, I would just recommend using an Apple lightning cable just to avoid potentially frying your phone and everything like that. So shouldn't have really any problems, except for some very few third-party cables that are just really excessively large. But the most of the time you should be fine when it comes to using third-party cables with this case. The speaker grill cutout is very good. I mean, it's pretty simple to do. You just kind of align it and all that, and that is very good. And then the cutout for the headphone jack is also pretty good. I found that some kind of L-shaped connectors didn't work with this just because the case is a little bit thick, because it protects quite a bit. However, most headphones I use with this work perfectly fine. It's just some very specific L-shaped connectors, but it's really not that hard to take the case off of the phone if you really need to, so I'm not super worried about any of the connections. I would be more worried if the case was really hard to get off the phone or something like that. So overall, I think this is a very nice case, and I have been using it on my phone for quite a while, as I mentioned earlier. I do really like the look of it and the feel of it and everything like that. The drop protection of theoretically 11.5 feet definitely adds quite a bit of peace of mind when it comes to your phone. I mean, I don't really drop my phone very frequently. I'd probably be perfectly fine without a case, but I just use cases just in case I do drop my phone, I want it to be protected. The 11.5 feet rating is very nice. I do believe that would actually work with this, just because you can kind of feel the material of it, and the just kind of structure and design of the case overall does feel like it would protect your phone from quite a big drop. I'm not sure about 11.5 feet. Like I said, when they test that, it's with a very perfect iPhone, and if you've previously dropped your phone or something like that, little fractures you can't see might have formed, and then you drop your phone in this case, and then that little fracture is just expanded upon, and then it just breaks, even though it's not necessarily the case's fault. So most of the time I would trust this case for protecting your phone. It does feel like a very protective case, and that is without sacrificing the phone's kind of overall design and feel and everything like that. It's a pretty slim, light case, and it is very protective overall, and I definitely enjoy the design of it. If you don't like this particular design, as I mentioned earlier, you can totally choose a different design of case on their website, and you will get the same protection and feel and everything like that, which is very nice. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this review of the RhinoShield PlayProof case for the iPhone 6 and 6S. If you enjoyed this video, then like rating is always appreciated. But if you dislike the video, feel free to leave a dislike rating, but please come and tell me why you dislike the video so it can hopefully improve upon my videos in the future. If you'd like to purchase a product, of course the link will be in the description, as it always is. And if you'd like to check out more of RhinoShield's products, you can do that in the link in the description as well. This has been Jordan for Joe Reviews. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.